Good afternoon, traders. This is CloudChartist with your weekly Ichimoku chart wrap-up for the week ending July 1st. This is Sunday night, July 3rd. I'm making this video. I didn't get a chance to make this video earlier before the market opened, so you will see that there are new candles that are opening that are just starting to form. But the analysis that I'm going to be bringing you is based on the prior candle, so the last week's candle. So ignore these new little nubbins here. All right, looking at the ES, we see that we put in a very bullish candle last week. Let me zoom in a little bit. We came down all the way to the bottom of the cloud, down here at, let's see, 1981.50. Bottom of the cloud was at 1982.50, so we just missed. We went under the cloud for one point and then found a bounce, and proceeded to bounce far above the Tenkan Sen, almost twice as far above the Tenkan Sen as above the cloud, and closed up near the highs, almost just a few ticks below the high. So a very bullish bounce after this 3-week, 4-week downtrend. So we do have a potential trend to the upside, but we did not manage to put in a higher high. We did put in a strong bounce, but we still put in a higher low and a lower low and a lower high. So we're still technically in a downtrend despite this very bullish candle. We are bullish in Ichimoku terms as we are over the cloud, over the Tenkan Sen. The Tenkan Sen, however, is flat, and so is the Kijun Sen, and we also see that we have a descending cloud ahead, and then we have a cloud twist as well. So we know that price action tends to be attracted to flat areas in Ichimoku, so we could see a retracement back towards the Tenkan Sen, the flat Tenkan Sen down here at 20.50.63. Also, if we do get a retracement lower, we could see the potential for finding support where the Chikou comes and finds the top of the cloud. That is going to be at the, let's see, 2068.13 level. If we continue further, then we will find support at the Tenkan Sen 20.50.63, which happens to coincide with approximately with the top of this candle here. The top of this candle here is a little bit lower, but around that 20.50 area. The shape of the cloud coming up in the future being lower and pretty thin suggests the potential for a tight range in the future trading. I'll zoom out a little bit. You can see that a bit better. Very sideways looking cloud. In fact, it's been a sideways looking cloud for quite some time. All right, let's move on. Let's look at some other indexes. Let's look at the Dow. We'll find all of these US indexes to be similar. Just like the ES, we got bounced off the cloud. We didn't actually even come all the way down into the cloud on the Dow. We just bounced slightly. We traded slightly into the cloud and then bounced off it, rocketed through the Tenkan Sen, closed above Tenkan Sen. In this prior area of resistance, you see that all of these candle tops hit this area of resistance also. So this is going to be a tough area to get over for the Dow. And we do have some topping tails above that area, so we have some other resistance, also some topping tails here. So I'm going to look at the potential of this candle top at let's see, that's about 18,000 even is going to be resistance to the upside for sure. If we do get above that 18,000 level, we do have this prior high of 18,334 in play on the Dow. But we do have this flat Tenkan Sen above, down below, so price could be attracted lower. If price is it does move lower, though. However, we do have closer cloud support for the Chikou here. So the cloud support for the Chikou is at 17,000 1,046. So we could catch a bounce there even if we do get some selling. All right, let's move on to the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ did not manage to close above the cloud, so it closed inside the cloud. So the NASDAQ was closed the week in neutral territory. However, the new candle that's opening now is technically bullish as it's above the cloud because it moves out of the cloud in a sideways manner because the cloud is thinner ahead. If we do see upwards price action, we do have this gap to fill. Well, let me zoom in a little bit and make it a little easier to see. I'll show you how I draw my gap window. Someone asked me about that last week. So something like this. So I double check to see what the levels are. This one, let's see, the close was 44.58 and the open was 446.75. So we could come up and fill the gap. We might have done so actually. Let's see. That was 44.58, and we opened at not quite. So let's zoom in. We do see that we could come up here and fill this gap to the bottom of this candle. That's what I'm getting at. Much easier to see when we zoom in. If we do not, even if we do fill that gap, if we do trade lower, we can find support at the top of the cloud, which here is at 44.1075, and then if we do trade into the cloud, we'll find support at the Tenkan Sen down here at 43.5663. If we lose that support inside the cloud, then we will have support at the bottom of the cloud below that at 43.2388. Let's move on to the Russell. The Russell has been doing a very good job leading price action. It's been very handy to have the Russell chart open while trading ES. We see that last week the Russell traded, it's been trading following the contour of the cloud here each week, and last week it closed right up inside this contour of this cloud, but was unable to get a close inside or above the cloud. Then we see this week the new candle for the Russell has opened inside the cloud. So technically we have support all the way inside the cloud, and if we do find sellers, we could come down and be still in neutral territory until we reach the Tenkan Sen, which is down here at 1133.50. Then we're going to be losing, if we do trade below that area, then we would be losing the cloud support and the Tenkan Sen support at the same time. Then we could continue trading lower. We see a lot of bottoming tails in, we see some bottoming tails in this area, in that 1112 area, 1111 area. Then also we have some support, obvious horizontal support at around the 1099, 1100 area. What did I say before? 1111, 1100. And we have obvious prior support around this 1080 level, and then at the Kijun Sen at 1063.30. Under the Kijun Sen at 1063.30, we will be back into fully bearish if we do trade down there. You see that the Chikou is sort of stuck at the moment in between the Kijun Sen. Let's zoom in, I'll show you the top of it. This is the red line here, is the Chikou. It's stuck between the Kijun Sen up here at 1157 and the top of this candle, which is at 1132. Some potential support and resistance there on the coming from the Chikou on the Russell. All right, let's look at crude. You do see this sort of like larger inverse head and shoulders here. So I'm looking for the potential for us to make a right shoulder. We could come down and potentially test the Tenkan Sen here at 47.35 this week. If we do trade below it, we'll be back into neutral cloud territory. We do have Cloud and Tenkan-sen support at this 47.35 level, so keep an eye on that level. If we trade higher, we do have a lot of prior resistance up here at 50. The 50 even level has been pretty reactive. The Chikou could come all the way up to the cloud up here at 54.29, and before it meets resistance. We do have a gap up here, you can see, from last July. Let me zoom out a little bit further. Not that far. So this is a weekly gap level up here. So let's put that in. You see I have a smaller one here also. So some other areas of potential resistance to the upside for crude. And then that 47.35 level. If we do trade lower, another, what is it, like $1.65, then I would definitely be interested in potentially buying that 47.35 level on crude for a bounce to the upside. Let's look at some metals. Here we have gold. Very strong uptrend we see here. We put in a really big spinning top doji on the prior week Brexit fun, and then put in a hammer type candle that closed almost near the highs up here. But it does seem like we are potentially maybe slowing down for some flagging action. We do have the Tenkan-sen has gone flat here. We are pretty close to overbought on the RSI, so I would not be surprised to see a little sideways flagging type action for gold. Let's zoom out and look at some other, see if we go back to 2013 and 2014, we see we did have some trouble getting above this area in the past, so significant prior resistance here from a couple of years ago, 2 to 3 years ago. Right. Keep this area in mind. All right, let's look at silver. Silver is just basically pretty ridiculous, much more bullish than gold at the moment. So we put in an extremely bullish candle up here after breaking out, bouncing off the Tenkan-sen, continuing this trend. We've been in this uptrend, holding the Tenkan-sen, except for a slight time that we traded below it last week, and we broke out of the cloud and haven't stopped. But it seems that it's possible that we could be looking for a little bit of correction lower. We are overbought on the RSI here. You see this redness here. Let's see. Let's look for the last time we were overbought on RSI. We haven't been overbought on RSI and silver for quite a long time. So that would probably be a good idea to potentially be cautious if you are continuing to get long silver here. There's decent potential for some flagging at least. Let's look at some treasury bonds. The 30-year last week continued its move higher. There still is a gap down here, but uptrend is still fully intact. We did get a flattening of the Tenkan-sen, asking for some mean reversion, potential flagging action, maybe sideways correction. We do, if you're ever bullish and you want to see a bullish Ichimoku cloud supporting higher price action, this is definitely one. See the cloud is moving higher, sort of stair-stepping higher, but definitely moving higher, getting some area of flat consolidation potential here, and then a move higher. So this is a very bullish Ichimoku chart, except for the fact that we do have this flattening action for the Tenkan-sen, which could suggest a potential mean reversion move lower towards the Tenkan-sen. We also see that the RSI is indeed overbought here, tagging the overbought levels. Let's look at the 30-year. Let's look at the 10-year. Similar to the 30-year. This is a nice example of where you can actually see the price action very clearly in the Chicow. You can see this area was obvious resistance, support, resistance, support, and we burst forth from this prior resistance area. Now we do see that the Chicow is leveling off following these two big topping tails, and we do have a flat Tenkan-sen here. So that suggests that we will get some mean reversion lower, at least some flagging action. You might note also that we do have another gap here. There's potential to fill right there. All right. What else? Let's see. We have dollar. Dollar is did trade inside the cloud last week and then managed to close outside the cloud. So dollar is technically bearish in the weekly time frame. We have resistance up here at the Kijun-sen at 95, 91.5, and then again at the top at the cloud here at 96.14. So look for those areas of resistance if you trade the DX dollar contract. And then we have the Tenkan-sen offering support down here to the downside at 94.94. We do have another gap in here. Maybe not. I think potential prior support resistance level here at around 95.30. So 31. Keep an eye on that as well. Let's look at corn. Corn has been pretty crazy chart, right? So we saw some really more significant selling as we put in a close under the cloud last week, and then 2 weeks ago, and then we came up, traded above the cloud, above the Tenkan-sen, above the Kijun-sen, and then put in a strong candle to the downside, down, and closed back around this prior support resistance area around 367.25. So we do have some amount of prior support in this area, so it's possible that we might get a bounce or do some more bear flagging sideways for corn. And let's see, I think I'm gonna wrap it up, keep this video short, and go back to enjoying my 4th of July weekend. So I wanted to say thank you for watching my video. Appreciate you joining me, and good luck trading this week. And if you're interested in learning more about Ichimoku, it's a great time to learn. I have a couple of new students, and some of my older students are on vacation right now, so I'm able to spend good time with new students, getting them up to speed. So it's a great time to join my chat room. If you're interested, you can check out my website at CloudChartist.com. And thanks again for watching, and happy 4th of July to everyone.